Hello everyone, and welcome to another reading, but not a royal reading, and not even a royal adjacent reading today. Having a little break from my usual topics, and just because, in my opinion as a humble tarot reader, Megan is digging a huge hole for herself, and I don't need to read on it today, because, all fall down. So I've decided to have a look at something a little bit different, just for entertainment purposes, just because I can, and just because he got on a plane very fast and went scrambling back to the UK. Boris is back on the phones as we speak, seeing who's for him and who is against him. Boris is coming back to save the day, Boris thinks. Some people also think I have no vested interest in this reading at all. I don't care whether Boris is in or out. It's not my government. It's not my problem. But we're all watching it. It's quite fascinating. And sympathy to those of you who are in the UK and thought that you're a good Capricorn country with a good stable government, and you weren't subject to the embarrassments that the rest of us, well, many of us, are subject to in our governments and in our circumstances. So we're going to do a reading using the Shadowland Tarot because it's nice and yellow to match Boris's hair. And we're going to look and see how Boris is going to do. What universe thinks of this? Is universe for or against Boris? How the British public feel about Boris coming back, bouncing back with Carrie and the babies and the wallpaper and whatever else we might be getting. And look, the sun has come out as an underlying, not an underlying energy, it's just hurled itself out of the deck to show us. We're going to look at what forces might be against Boris and whether he's a shoo-in or not, whether he's going to get the hot seat again, Boris back. And if he is, if we get a yes from the cards, a 5-card reading I'm about to do with the Shadowland Tarot, the star has come out, then we'll pick a card, we'll get a clarifier and we'll ask how it will go. The world needs some help right now, as far as I'm concerned. So hence this reading. We're going to see, as I say, first thing I really want to know is where is universe on this? Because universe, really, the world is very topsy-turvy. This eclipse season has been particularly trying in my personal life. It's brought some just tricky situations to a head, been quite rough in my little world. I'm okay. People around me not necessarily so okay, and some situations which were kind of limping along, and I had to stop limping and call the ambulance or even the undertaker. So that's what's going on in my world. Interested to hear what's going on in your world, because it's pretty intense out there. So 5 cards, and let's have a look. We've got the King of Wands. Well, that's a Boris card, even though he is a Gemini. The King of Wands is back. The drama, the volatility, the energy, the fieriness, the creativity, the flamboyance. That's Boris. There he is. Boris is back. I couldn't get on a plane fast enough. Apparently thousands of people were tracking the flight back to the UK. A bit like Santa Claus. And that app that you can track where the sleigh is. This and the rain dolls. That's not a word. The reindeers. Rudolph and the reindeers. I'll get it right eventually. I'll get it right. And no, Netflix isn't paying me to sing us a little children's ditty for a song of theirs. She had to slip in, but we'll slide her out again. Let's get back to Boris. The situation, the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is the 8 of Cups. He couldn't walk away. He tried to walk away from the situation, the 8 of Cups. He tried to go on holiday in the Caribbean. But the sorrow is still there. Walking away from sorrow is the 8 of Cups, but we all know what's happened. He's come back. So it's telling me a whole lot of people are slinking away from their sorrows. Liz Truss packing her suitcase. Various other people probably packing their suitcases as well. Oh dear, as King Charles said when he saw her, I think expressed the sentiments of a nation. But a lot of walking away from sorrow. Please, can we leave our sorrow behind? A whole country probably saying, please can we leave our sorrow behind, and please can we have happier times. So let's see. What does universe think about this? A direct question to universe. What do you think about Boris coming back? Universe isn't entirely in favor of this with the Eight of Swords. It's a trap. It's a trap. We've got two eights, very interesting. Eights are action after pause, but neither of these eights are very encouraging eights. This one, walking away from sorrows, leaving your sorrow, pack up your troubles in your old kit bag. Eight of Swords is in this mental prison that you have made. And so universe is not giving a big thumbs up to this. Universe is saying, really? Do you want to go there again? Into that trap where you've been already? Because Boris does have his issues. As I say, I'm not for or against. I'm standing on the sidelines, objectively observing this. And so, you know, I'm personally, whether he's in or out, don't care. There doesn't really seem to be anybody who is deserving of the job. And I look around in my country and I look around in many other countries and I think, really, is that the best we can do? And I think universe is saying, really? Is this the best we can do? Bring that old corpse out again in his bandages, a bit of a sad figure with those feathers around him, embattled. Not a good energy, not a positive energy. But let's see how the British public feels about Boris bouncing back. Nah. King of Cups in reverse. Not thrilled. Not thrilled with this idea at all. He lost their emotional investment. He lost their support, their love. He partied while everybody else was being good and sitting at home, and the Queen was by herself, the late Queen, in that poignant, heartbreaking, more than poignant, it was heartbreaking scene at Prince Philip's funeral, where there she was, social distancing, and Boris was having a party. So he lost them. And do you get them back when you've lost them at that level, King of Cups? We'll see. We'll see what's working against him right now. And it's the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Hard times. The country's in trouble financially. Is the Five of Pentacles is the poverty, illness, exile, sickness, disaster card, financial disaster card. The country is it's the cost of living crisis. Let's call it that. It's what it's called, the cost of living crisis. That is what's going against Boris. Boris is a good time guy. Boris redecorated number 10, the flat, carried it at vast expense. He lives large, Boris does. He's not one that you would say, okay, Boris, we need to tighten our belts here. I mean, he's quite a wide girth anyway. How's Boris going to tighten his belt? People aren't going to trust him to lead them when it comes to this level of financial crisis. And there is a winter of discontent coming, of power issues and huge escalation, inflation, food prices and all that kind of stuff. So there's trouble coming in this winter. And well, it's already there, really. And is Boris the one to lead the British people in this crisis? No. So is he going to get in? First question. And then if universe is yes, then we'll ask how it's going to go. But is this going to have a happy outcome for Boris? Is he going to be back at number 10 before I upload this reading? We get the Chariot. Woohoo! That's progress, that's ambition, that's driving forward. It does look as if Boris is going to be on the way to Buckingham Palace to meet King Charles pretty soon. Major Arcana, I think that's our first Major Arcana that has popped out. And it is, yes. So absolutely, Boris is it's that whip energy. He's on the phone, they're working the phones, they're getting all the support that they need to drive this forward. This is the political ambition card. Absolutely. There isn't a clearer answer. Universe has said yes. even the universe itself is thinking, I don't really think so. He's on his way. He is well on his way. It's a travel, it's a journey card, big journey he's just undertaken from the Caribbean, but there is going to be a shorter journey to Buckingham Palace, it looks like to me, with that Chariot card. So seeing as we got that card, let's ask Universe if it wants to tell us how this is going to go, because as I say, Universe has some doubts about the situation. The British public has some doubts about the situation, and there is a financial crisis. There is a cost of living crisis that is well underway, and it's how to recover from that, because the card is in reverse. So let's see if Boris is back at number 10 and can carry on redecorating. And I forgot to say my disclaimer, but really who cares? We'll point out the disclaimer: tarot reading, entertainment purposes. Oops, no, too many. Let's just keep shuffling, keep focus, and we'll ask now, seriously, how's it going to go for Boris? How's it going to go for everybody if Boris is back in power? What's going to happen? You know, it's like Donald Trump making a comeback. Doesn't look likely over the Atlantic, but you never know. Gemini's bouncing back all over the place. Not in my world, but in the larger world. Gemini's exiting in my world. Let's see. Chariot card. Tell us more about the Chariot card. How's it going to go for Boris and for the great British public, who has been through some quite harrowing times recently? All undeserved, right? We have a card that came flying out. How's it going to go? How is it going to go? And we get the Empress in reverse. Not going to go well. I'm sorry to tell you all that. Empress in reverse. That is the growth and abundance and all good things card. Love, women, pregnancy. You can see she's pregnant, the tree. But it is about creativity, it's about expansion, it's about abundance, plenty. And we've got the card in reverse. So it's going to be tough times. There are tough times ahead. That's what it's telling me. It's telling me that this card is a serious card, the Five of Pentacles. And this is why Universe is saying you're stuck in a trap, in a mental trap, actually. This is what Universe, it now becomes clear to me, this card, this Eight of Swords. Universe is saying this is more in your imagination than in reality, this Eight of Swords. Your fears, your doubts, your worries are more mental constructs than actual events. But there is this desire to get out of this problem, and it's going to be tricky. It could be that Carrie is his downfall. Women are his downfall. I'm speculating, let's remind you, tarot reading, entertainment purposes. But Carrie could be his downfall, and her love of the good life, allegedly. That could be his downfall again. Boris does have a problem with women, and his attitude to them and his choice of partner is sometimes rather questionable. So she could be the one who causes problems for him going forward, but also just because the Empress is that card of living well. It's not going to be living well. The larger society is not going to be living well. And women in particular could be less than thrilled to have him back. And really, do we need this in our lives right now? Do we need this kind of male energy? I forgot to mention at the start of this reading that today, because I'm veering away from the Harkles and their sorry tales, I'm going into alpha male territory today, and Boris the first one, the second one, Mike Tyndall. So, as I say, women could be what brings about the downfall of Boris for the 2nd, 3rd, 25th, I've lost track, time in his rather checkered career. But that is what's going on. Here he comes. Beep, beep. I can hear the hooter. Boris is on his way. That's your reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.